my darlings. How are you doing? I am certainly having a wild ride being back in England. Plenty of distractions to try and, distract me, I guess. The evil minions are at work, but they're not going to win. I hope you're doing okay, or even better than okay, if possible. Welcome to this podcast episode, which is channeled information and energy transmissions about the December full moon in Gemini, the snow moon, and some information's also been coming through about the winter solstice. So let's get stuck in, shall we? If you don't know me already, if it's your first time here, my name is Nancy. I'm a shamanic practitioner. I work with master plants in the Amazon, and I channel information and just do a lot of shamanic work and therapeutic work. I'm also a Western trained therapist, amongst other things. So my life is really about my work, which is helping people to transition through their awakening into evolving into their most empowered self, really. Okay, so sometimes I go a bit quiet during the transmissions just because of how I receive information. Sometimes there's images, sometimes there's words, different ways. I'm all the Claires, so sometimes I go a bit quiet because my human senses can get a little bit overloaded. Okay, so if you want to just take a deep breath with me, filling up your lungs, really feeling into your belly. And as you breathe out, just letting everything go. Wherever you are, out and about, at home, in your safe space. Just feeling into where you are right now. And just get a sense of yourself being at one with nature. Perhaps seeing yourself as a tree, sending your roots deep down into Mother Earth, giving you grounding, supportive nourishment. And your branches and your leaves reaching up into the heavens for inspiration and growth. Feel free to take any notes if you want to as we go through. Or come back and listen later. So these podcasts are part of the ceremonies that I do online and in person. And this one will be for the Gemini full moon that's happening on Saturday online. Earlier in the day, I'm doing an in-person cacao ceremony in London. And later that night, I'll be doing a shamanic journey for the Gemini moon. And this is just an idea of what energies are working to support us, in what areas we might experience some growth or some change at the moment, depending on really what's going on in the cosmos. It's sort of astrology. I get information from beings across the cosmos, really. Okay, so they're telling me to remind you that everything is a direct manifestation of what's going on inside of you. So sometimes that can be a bit hard to swallow because you think, oh, I didn't ask for this. But ultimately, we did. We signed up for it before we came. We've got this really powerful full moon coming up this weekend and the solstice elegy. So there's going to be a couple of days of some really, really strong energy. And we're going to have to make sure that we know ourselves well enough to be able to ground and have strong boundaries. so that we don't get knocked about in any of those energies. That doesn't mean that it's necessarily a negative thing at all. It's just an opportunity to let go again of whatever is not serving you at this point. So, if you're struggling at all, or feeling like you're lacking in some areas, or that you're stuck, you're not fully clear yet. And so, this is a really good time to shine the spotlight into your shadows to see where you need to be clear. And going deep into what's triggering you, perhaps fears or certain people or situations might be coming up. So you can really look at them and figure them out so that you can leave them behind. As we're going through this process of ascension, rising up, we've already arrived in the higher frequency. That's what they're telling me. We've already arrived there, but it's just the kind of the last the last parts of separation. I don't know why I'm getting the urge to yawn so much while I'm doing this. Maybe because Gemini is associated with the throat and the breath, and yawning is a form of purging, like in the work that I do. So, yeah, forgive me. It's not that I'm trying to fall asleep here. I'm just really getting the urge to yawn. So I have to go with it. Sometimes I listen to myself and I sound really weird. Anyway, hopefully you know what I mean. Okay, so an opportunity to really figure out what else needs to be figured out now, really clearing out, the basement of your emotions. That's what they're showing me. Otherwise, there's a potential for reality to remain the same when you could transcend much, much higher. So it's a time for radical self-care. And they're talking about traveling, but traveling in the sense of like journeying, sorry, journeying within yourself, shamanic journeys or meditation. Also getting out and about if you can, and if that is appropriate for you. But certainly self-care and journeying for yourself to be able to connect with your true essence and Mother Earth, who's trying to give us as much support as we need right now. Okay, so there's a reminder that there is no lack, there is no separation. That's a tough one for me, actually. I often buy into the myth of separation, where I feel like I'm just some alien out on my own, but it's not true because we're all connected. So maybe it's a good time to consider perhaps shamanic work like soul retrieval or timeline therapy. These are all terms, actually, the work that I do. I'm not trying to pimp my work, just that I suppose this is a way for me to understand, a way to go back and retrieve parts of yourself and essentially kind of heal parts of yourself where trauma has occurred, or you've left parts of yourself behind that you need to bring forward now so that you can remember your wholeness. You are whole, you are already healed, you're connected to source all the time, and you have all the resources that you need. Okay, so as we're headed for the solstice, and it's a really important time to be harmonized and balanced within. So sound healings, meditations are really helpful with that. Keeping up with your practices, making sure that you're continually allowing yourself to process and move through what you need to move through. This is going to be unique for you and your journey, but you simply can't move on to the next chapter or the next book of your life with old stuff shackling you to the past, an old version of you. Okay, so there's a strong message coming through about being able to focus on your grounding, your own means of solid foundation of your life, and what brings love to your being, to your consciousness. So doing the things that you love, being around the people that you love. Pets are really great to be around at this time. Children, we need to focus on the joy rather than the chaos and the darkness. It seems to be, yeah, pretty dark out there, but I'm trying not to pay any attention to it. hmm Okay, so however you might do this, prepare yourself to let go of um, all illusions. They're saying you might not understand them as illusions yet, but just I guess this is a way to prepare yourself for change. You may be surprised at how much comes to light you just didn't know before. Um, an example that there was a huge data drop with WikiLeaks the other day. This kind of thing, stuff coming to light that might be a huge shock for the collective, but this is going to aid the waking up process. A lot of people are going through that now, that kind of unplugging from the matrix as we continue becoming the hollow bone. Okay, so this is a tribal, dare I say, shamanic term. I know it from Peru. It's about being a vessel, a hollow bone, and not having attachment to things. You're a vessel for energy to move through. And that's how we can experience life, by allowing energy and love and magic to move through us rather than attaching and trying to have ownership of things, positive or negative. Okay, so they're reminding me of some of my shamanic knowledge, that we're only here to fall in love. Everything else is a distraction. Life is about love, and yeah, I'm certainly experiencing the amount of distraction that happens, that just gets in the way, and we've got to just kind of let those scales of distraction fall away from our eyes for now. Well, for always, really. Yeah, so this kind of there's been a lot of talk about the 5D, 6D, 7D, 8D reality, um, this new reality out of the 3D, and it's arrived. We've created it. We're in it. We're kind of, a lot of us are in those two places at once. We're able to be here in the 3D, as we understand it, with everything that's going on in the world, but also in a different place, in our hearts and within ourselves. So we've moved beyond that kind of binary, but we're still in a process of fully understanding that. I suppose I don't really have the vocabulary for it, but what they're showing me is just being in two places at once, two places or more at once, and some people are more accustomed to that than others, but it's a good thing. But yeah, some people may not have noticed it yet. But my experience is that despite all of the hardship, pain, distraction, there's a new strength. There's a new sense of freedom within. Um, there's an understanding, certainly within me. And I think a lot of people are experiencing that now as well. It's sort of like that star seed outside a void that was once a real problem for me and for many people. Um, is no longer there. There's a kind of feeling of wholeness now that was never there before. Okay, so for lots of people, there's the fear is falling away, attachment is falling away. So I wonder what your experience is. Let me know. Contact me on social media. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can leave comments. So you may be aware of the evil that's operating. You may be aware of the despair. You might not. You might be hiding yourself away. But a level of detachment, if you can hold that at the moment, can really help you go a long way, help you to keep calm in perhaps a way you've not really known before. Just understanding that this too shall pass. This is just a time. and we're all responsible for ourselves and our own happiness right now. Okay. All right. So it's possible that some, very old emotions, powerful emotions, might be coming up for you now or around this time. It's just a means to purge out the old, let's say, conditioning that just doesn't serve you. So just let that move through, just process it as you need to. And these are just opportunities to get clear, to face your shadow. And you just got to surrender. And I'm in that position too. I mean, coming back here and I'm just like looking at the world around me and not necessarily always feeling part of it, and just like, okay, just stay calm, just be grounded like a tree, and let these things move through. Um, yeah, you just got to surrender. If you're still working on self love, keep going with that. Self love is really the key. It brings compassion for the people around you, and then things just flow much more easily, not getting stuck, being able to forgive yourself and others. So it's a really good time to note how much you've changed as well, in the recent past, but like over the years too. Have you noticed more magic in your life? Have you noticed any changes in you? Okay. So they're saying that this new era brings the ability to jump timelines that you couldn't previously or consciously access. So, really, that's kind of associated with manifesting. And that's how you can create your own reality more easily than you may have done in the past. Yeah, you won't necessarily have to try so hard. So another reminder as well that you're not broken. You're not broken and you never were broken. And that's a huge part of coming out of the matrix, the illusion. Yeah, there's nothing there's nothing in this reality that could come close to how brilliant and magnificent you are. So just remember who you are. Okay, so you might be feeling the restlessness, the fire of independence. I'm stumbling on that word, independence. But remember that we do need each other. Might need to practice asking for help at this time. A lot of people find that quite difficult, but it's okay. It's also, there's energy supporting us in sitting with some things so we can take our time and get clear so we can fully move through something and move to the next level. Okay, yeah. So, with so many distractions happening, just choose your lane and stay in it. Really don't listen to or watch or be around people that are, you know, just caught in whatever they're caught in. Don't give in. Just have your boundaries there and uphold them. It's really more than okay to say no. No is a complete sentence. Hmm. Okay, so there's huge support available in the heart opening and the energetic field expanding. Okay, so over the next few days, we're going to be connecting with the galactic center, which for me, I don't know what it means for you, but I can only speak for myself, which for me is about connecting with the purest of energies of love and light, really source. So it's possible that you will feel that humongous magnetic field, and the lighter we are in our energy, in our thoughts, in our emotions, the greater the boost will be to us for our ascension, offering us support, light, getting the image of just cells lighting up and seeing that a lot recently. And again, we cannot take the old stuff with us. So if you're struggling to let anything go, you can write it down, you can burn it, you can scream it out to the universe, find a way to release it. Okay, so it's likely that you're going to experience some new messages, some new insights, solutions coming through. Okay, and it's a reminder that yes, it does appear to be getting pretty dark out there, but it's solstice time. So this represents time for us over here in the West to move back into the light gradually. And no matter what your kind of faith is, hopefully you've got an understanding of prayer, and we need to pray for this. Praying for moving into the light with grace and ease, and asking for support, especially for those who need it. And I think the emphasis really here is that you can't do it alone. We can ask for help from our, cosmic cousins, our ancestors. We can't do it at all. So tune into that. Tune into the love and support that's available for all of us. So we're going to be doing that in my ceremonies that are coming up, solstice one and a full moon. If you want to come to those, get in touch. If you're worried about money, there are plenty of ways to create an energy exchange. But we'll be tuning in to those frequencies to help carry us forward. The details will be in the links, comments of show notes. So, any kind of ceremony that you can do or ritual, anything that works for you, which can be your daily practice or creative practice, or a moon ceremony or a ceremony with me or whoever, can really help you to navigate this time, giving you grounding, alignment in, in an unprecedented time of chaos. Also helping to, light up and activate your own DNA, light codes, those sorts of things. All right, so it's a good time to consider what stories you tell yourself right now. Just be really aware of your thoughts and feelings and your dreams. Might be a good idea to keep some notes, maybe on a voice recorder, or write them down. They're saying it's important to look up at the skies, stuff going on up there, and it will help to um, reassure you that we are not alone. Get outside if you can, because there's energy coming through that we could do with absorbing through our skin, through our eyes. All right, so I'm getting an image of synapses connecting. So that tells me that there's a huge, upgrade, a step up in understanding on a personal and a collective level. So this is a time for dreams to become a reality. Hold on, they're just showing me something. Okay, so they're showing me a scene from A Midsummer Night's Dream, which I think is summer solstice. That's interesting. A William Shakespeare play, and they're showing me people waking up from that dream. Okay, so of course, interpreting these visions and these things that I get is an art in itself. I have to be sure what I'm passing on, but that would tell me that people are waking up from a dream for one reason or another. And interestingly, I mean, that's very clever. I've never had that one before. It seems so obvious now. Okay. And so please make some time to be with yourself. So even if you are doing your rituals, your practices, your creative stuff, do make time to just sit and allow yourself to get bored even. Just, yeah, sit, lie down. If you fall asleep, that's okay. But, turn off everything and just be and see what happens. See what floats to the surface. This is a really important time to reflect, to feel, to evaluate. And there are going to be lots of things coming up to distract you. Oh my goodness. Just in the last couple of weeks, so many distractions have come up for me. It's unreal. Like anything that needed sorting. It's been so much stress, but I was just like, it's okay. They're just trying to distract me. Even down to my password wouldn't work for recording this podcast. And I was just like, just meditate, take a deep breath, sort it out. So that's why the podcast is coming out a lot later than I wanted it to. That brings me on to saying that Gemini is associated, yeah, partly with the throat. So there may be opportunities for communicating things that you may have suppressed in the past. Looking after that throat area, looking after your voice, visualizing the color blue, lots of a clear blue energy in that area. Teas that are good for the throat or herbal remedies would be peppermint, licorice, echinacea, and chanting hum, Ham, hum, to clear that chakra. I was doing that just before we started this podcast. Okay, so yeah, in line with that, people from the past may pop up. Is there any unfinished business there? But also don't be tempted to fall back into the past patterns, past behaviors. You are different now. So just keep on moving forward. Clean up any old energetic connections or ties for sure, but don't fall back into anything from the past because you're under the illusion that it's comforting or it's something that you know, or you might be feeling a bit lonely at the moment. It's just another distraction. Don't lose sight and connection with who you are and keep operating from there. Keep operating from who you really are, your essence, and not your programming. Programming being learned behaviors or imprinted behaviors or attitudes that just aren't actually really in alignment with who you truly are. Okay. So there's opportunities in the air to have more confidence around being yourself. So however that might take form, don't know. Speaking up, having boundaries, presumably. hmm Okay, so you might get a sense of completion around some things that you may have been working on for a while, perhaps the last 18 months, um, or more or less, but something being completed. I can attest to that actually. So you might still be getting a strong sense of who you are and what matters now, and you've earned it. That kind of attitude of I'll be damned if I'm going to let myself be pulled back into any old stuff. I've moved on. I'm not having this. I'm sovereign. I'm free. So if you get the opportunity to speak up and get clear, go for it. All right. So I'm getting the energy now strongly of the moon more so than just the other energies that were abound. So the Gemini snow moon. All right. So it's going to be throwing a lot of illumination on connections, intuition, and insight. So it's a good time to focus on the year that's passed, not because of the calendar so much, but the energy that she brings with her. Try to eliminate any pressure. Just sweep it all to the sidelines for now. You can deal with it another time, but especially the next kind of week or so, it's a time for real self care. Connect with people in ways that feels comfortable and not draining for you, and also taking time for reflection. All right, so try to be sure that you've got a healthy balance between your earthly and your spiritual self. So that visualization, or that brief meditation of being the tree that I did at the start of this podcast, that could be pretty useful to you right now. If you would like me to put out more regular meditations, let me know. Send me some messages, and I'll do that if that's helpful. Okay. So again, this is a time for further expansion, finding your own answers with grace and ease. Might feel alien and alone, and that's okay. Try to find more like-minded people and stick with them. Oh, that makes me feel quite emotional, actually. We're not alone. Separation is a myth. It is a myth. We are all connected, and we're certainly not alone in this. Might be a good time to be conscious of what you're spending, and also really focus on what you can learn from the people that you are in relationships with. It's interesting. They're not really saying any more on that, but being conscious of that. I guess we're all teachers and we're all students all the time, and it's a good time to be I guess appreciating those that we love and we're in relationships with. And by relationships, they're saying all relationships, romantic and otherwise. Everybody has something to teach us, and this is part of the good, really great opportunities to grow and learn. Okay, so they're saying really focus on staying present. Have the practices to hand that help you stay present, stay grounded, and being conscious. So think before you speak, listen attentively, reflect. Don't overspend, don't overeat. Just being really conscious about what you're doing, focusing on the breath all the time. Okay. So it's a really, yeah, good time, strong time to, yeah, keep on doing the work, keep moving forward, keep the connections going. And just remember that you're not alone. So if you found any of my work useful and you want to leave a review on Google, Apple Podcasts, or website, Instagram, whatever, I'd really love that. It really helps other people to find me and hopefully get help on their journeys too. As I mentioned, I've got a Gemini full moon ceremony and a solstice ceremony coming up. Just yeah, seeing us through to the end of the year. Um, I've got some cacao ceremonies online and in person, and shamanic healing sessions available in person too. So I'll put all the links wherever you find them, wherever you're listening to this. All the intention is always with all of my work to help people to shift blocks and energy that are keeping you stuck, holding you back. So please reach out, connect with me, and if you're worried about money or whatever, we can always work something out. There's plenty of ways to exchange energy and give back. So thank you so much for being here at this time. Thank you for listening. I hope that you found it useful. And I just want to, yeah, just remind you to trust yourself, trust your journey. There are new insights and power and solution coming your way right now. So just make time for you and to receive all of that. Keep your boundaries in place and remember who you are. Try your best to keep it light and just be really clear about what you want to create and be patient. And you might not be having an easy time of it right now, but this too shall pass. And we are headed for much brighter days. I really believe that. I've seen that. I've been across different timelines and different dimensions with this. I've done a lot of work with it because it's something that really has worried me from time to time and haunted me. But underneath it all, I know that it's going to be fine. And I just want to reassure you of that. So thank you for being part of this community. And I'm hoping to find more ways that we can all, gather together as a community and, yeah, just share and care amongst each other. So thanks again and sending you so much love, so much light. And I hope to see you in person, online, ASAP. That would be amazing. And if I don't, you just have a great end of the year and solstice, and however you want to celebrate. I hope that you have a beautiful time. Catch you on the other side. Bye.